Greetings fellow penguins, it's Danish here, and bit of a different video today. It's something I didn't want to get involved with personally. Now I know I'm sorry I haven't uploaded. I didn't upload yesterday. Was not doing too well, unfortunately. Wasn't feeling too good. Still a little bit iffy now, but after watching Alpha Omega Sin's recent video, check that guy out by the way if you haven't already, because he's fucking awesome. I think I mentioned before. Very vulgar, but knows what he's talking about. And it's on a topic that's quite volatile nowadays. Someone, I think you should know the name, well, especially by the title, Anita Sarkeesian. I believe I pronounced that right. Now, like I said, this is a topic I didn't want to get involved with because of all the outrage, all of the hostility that's connected to it, all of that crap that's it's involved with. But after this recent video, I feel like I need to address it now, as do all the members of the gaming community, regardless of console, PC, because she's basically putting us all down. Whether you're a hardcore gamer, you play games every day, whether people who play games for a living, because obviously those people do exist nowadays, especially on YouTube, or even casual gamers, people who just play games every now and then. I know a lot of people who are like that. A lot of people who play them from time to time, but aren't entirely into them. A few of my mates are like that. Like, for example, my mate Josh. I mean, he plays a lot of Pokemon, but that's about it, really. He plays it every now and then. And I know a lot of people like that. I know a couple of people who play them as much as I do. And that's every day, pretty much. And, well, recently on ABC News in America. Obviously, we don't have that over here, etc., etc. We have BBC. But, she recently went to Gamergate. I believe that's a gaming convention. I wouldn't know, unfortunately. Like I said, I haven't researched the subject. I don't really research any convention. The only major gaming convention I know of, at least extensively, is E3, of course. And everyone who is part of the gaming community knows about E3. Gamergate. Apparently, she turned up at Gamergate, and basically a lot of shit went down. Recently, a recent video that ABC News posted, and it's titled "When Jumping into Gamergate Turns into Fearing for Your Life." And that's she's basically recently saying that all of you who show up at Gamergate, and pretty much all gamers in particular, in general, I may be wrong in saying this, but this is what I got from it, are basically the basement-dwelling little assholes. And every single one of us are apparently sexist. She's been targeting games like GTA because of the fact that you can kill women, and there's hookers in there, you know, there's prostitutes in there, you can get a prostitute, have sex with them, and then shoot them dead on the fucking spot. Missing the fact that you can, aside from the prostitution bit, of course, you can mutilate the shit out of male NPCs as well. So completely missing out on that point. Over the past 2 years, she's been getting on the bad side of a lot of people with her apparently extremist feminist views, or more commonly known feminazi views, as it's more commonly known. I like to think there's a difference between a feminist and a feminazi. And with that in mind, I personally label myself a feminist. Bear in mind, the actual definition of feminism is fighting for equality for both men and women. This I support. I believe that is absolutely fair. You know, in the workplace, equal pay. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of things to keep in mind. But I mean, there's been a lot of cases where they've been given less pay for the same job under the same circumstances, by the way. You can't just say, oh, they're doing the same job, but they're doing it for less. There are a lot of things to consider, of course. I mean, this can turn into a huge ass, political, etc., video. It's something I feel I should get onto. If the way I think when it comes to feminism, the way I think, for example, when it comes into equal pay in work, if a woman does the same job as a male does in the same conditions and brings out the same results, she deserves the same pay. That's how it works. They deserve equality so long as they do the same. That's the kind of thing. If they, for example, if they do the same job but don't do it as good, it's not as good quality, they're not earning the same money. So then maybe they should earn less. And the same, by the way, before anyone says anything, the same should happen should the roles be reversed. If, said, a woman ends up doing a job and then say I went up and did that same job but to a lower standard, I should be paid less. Because that's how it should work. It's not the job title itself, it's what you do to earn it. That's how the equal pay thing should work. You should earn your pay. Not just your position, but what you do to earn that money. And that's where the equality thing comes in. I believe that both genders should deserve the same kind of treatment should they put in the same amount of effort. Should they both earn it, they both deserve it. That's how it works. And should either not earn it, then of course they're not going to deserve as much. Both genders. And back onto the topic at hand, Anita, of course. And she's been saying quite a few things, in video games in particular, a lot of, which she isn't particularly wrong. She's not entirely right, but she's not entirely wrong either. A lot of women in video games are labelled as the damsel in distress. Put in a position where they can't do anything of their own accord, they can't save themselves, and they have to rely on a male character in order to save them. But that, hence being the damsel in distress situation. I won't deny there are a lot of games that do that. However, this does not promote masculinism, or whatever you want to call it. This does not mean that's all that women are good for. That's not what the game is trying to produce. That's just setting up the story in this fictional world. Remember, let's use that word one more time. Fictional. Meaning not real. Unless the game specifically states that that is what women are like in reality, then then it's not promoting feminism. And let's not forget, there are a lot of games that feature female protagonists, really badass female protagonists. I mean, let's name a few. Hang on, I'll look at a few of my games now. Which have I got that involves a female protagonist? Well, we've got Metroid, Samus Aran. Among the first, I believe it was actually the very first female protagonist. On the NES, you play as Metroid, you play as Samus, of course, in the suit. And when you finally beat the game, helmet comes off, if you beat it in a certain time. Of course, if you beat it in a really small time, you show up in a bikini. That's going a bit too far. But this broke the mold for the game. This completely broke the stereotype. Because you've been playing this badass bounty hunter here. You're going around, you're killing aliens all the fucking time. You're being really badass bounty hunter, doing all this really cool shit. You beat the game, helmet comes off. Oh shit, it's a woman. We've been playing as a woman the entire time. A female has been doing all this shit. Maybe this means... You know what this means? This means that females are entirely capable of this, just as males are. Samus Aran broke that only males can do cool shit stereotype. And that's what makes Samus a character that made a huge impact on the gaming industry. What else have we got? Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. Again, badass character. Now I have only got 2 Tomb Raider games, which is the first one on the PS1 and the reboot on 360. Both are great games. Now, I can't get into the original Tomb Raiders because of the control scheme. It feels far too stiff. It's just very, the way she moves is very tankish. Similar to, dare I say it, Bubsy 3D. But of course, nowhere near as terrible. Though, oddly enough, when I was a kid, I used to enjoy that game. But that's beside the point. I won't deny that game is quite bad. But, again, Lara Croft, I won't deny there has been a bit of controversy, or controversy, for the US, surrounding her. Especially when it came to the trailer for Lara Croft. There was a lot of controversy saying, oh, what was shown in the trailer, it showed that it like implied rape was going to be a strong point in Lara's character development. That is quite bad. But either way, she is a badass as hell female protagonist. A female that don't need no man kind of thing. She kicks enough ass on her own. And what else we got? Okay, obvious one. Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. Now, unfortunately, I've not played any Resident Evil games, but I've heard a lot about Jill Valentine. And of course, he was mentioned again by Alpha Omega Sin. Apparently, one of his favorite video game character of all time. That's got to say a lot. Of all time. Or at the very least, I may have heard it wrong. It was either his favorite female video game character, or his favorite game character of all time, or protagonist. I only saw the video once, so I may have messed up a couple of bits. But Jill Valentine is apparently a really badass character, and again, a female protagonist. So that just shows not all females are designed to be damsel in distress. Those who do are just to set the story, and they're not promoting sexism in any way. They're not saying it's right in the real world. Again, all of these characters are fictional. I repeat, fictional, meaning not real. Now, one thing she also mentioned was, which is completely false, by the way, was that, of course, back to the GTA story. Of course, oh, GTA, you can find a hooker, you can have sex, and then you can murder them. It's like, yeah, but you can murder anyone you want. And there's a lot of guys you can go around mowing down with a fucking sports car. Trust me, I've done it in GTA. I haven't got GTA 5. Doesn't interest me. I got GTA 4 cheap, that's about it. And I don't even play that anymore. It's not my type of game, that's all. Not saying it's a bad one, just not my type. But, completely missing the fact you can do the same thing to male NPCs. I mean, that is ridiculous. And I mean, she also said that you're able to rape women in that game. No, you're not. No, you are not. I mean, I have only heard of a couple of games which actually involve you, the player, raping another character. And that's like when I watched a few top 10 videos, and one of them was like the top 10 most offensive games. One of them was a notorious game called Custer's Revenge on the Atari 2600. I'm sure you will know about that one. And the other one is a Japanese game called Replay. Now, those kinds of games are not acceptable. I will not deny that. But that's two among tens or hundreds of thousands of video games, maybe even more. Millions, considering how long the industry's been going on for. Now, one thing that's crossed my mind that I want to address is the fact that she has been receiving a hell of a lot of death threats. Now, before I say anything else, I will also say this. What she has said, especially targeting the gaming community, considering I am part of that, we're all part of that, is not acceptable. What you have said, Miss or Mrs. Sarkeesian, I don't know. I haven't tried to look into your personal life because that's kind of creepy. But Anita, what you have said about the game community is not okay. Because, I mean, for one thing, I actually know many female gamers. The gaming industry is not dominated by males alone. There are a lot of females that play games the same way a lot of us do. I mean, hardcore gamers, not just casual gamers who play it every now and then. People who play a shit ton of video games. There are many females that do that. I think they make at least over a third of the gaming community. I may be wrong. It may be a quarter, it may be more than a third, it may be half. I don't know. I mean, I will safely assume that the majority of gamers are male. But there is a significant amount of females that also play games to the same extent. That I can safely assume. So I've run across my fair share of female gamers. So what you've said about the gaming community is not okay. Targeted at... And what you're doing, Anita, is not feminism. What you're doing is feminazism. Because I didn't complete that point earlier. Difference between feminism and feminazism. Feminism is working towards equality. Feminazism is just hating on men. Saying all men are rapists. No, we're not. No, just no. Most men are not rapists. I have not met a single... I've met a ton of people, hundreds, thousands of people. None of them rapists. A lot of them men, none of them rapists. It's just... It's ridiculous. It's the double standards bullshit, basically. Women pulling out the rape card, pulling out the misogyny card. It's the same kind of thing as, when, the double standards when it comes to racism. Pulling out the race card. It's okay if... and again, I'm not racist. I find the notions of stuff like sexism, racism... I forget the bloody word for it. People hating on gays. I've forgotten the bloody word for it. Sorry, that's it. Homophobia. Homophobic behaviour. Things like that. Things that target, well, any specific person or any group of people for whatever reason. I despise the very idea of it. What's the problem with them? What's the problem with being a different colour, a different gender, a different sexual preference? What's the issue? I mean, you come across... What is the problem? There is no problem. So, with that in mind, what's the problem with men now? And posting these extremists, posts, is only going to incite hatred. And they've struck back at Anita in a very volatile way. And now, and that's not because they're sexist. That's because what you have said concerns them, and they don't like what you've said. What you've said is offensive to us as well. Yeah, yes, women can be women have been oppressed in the past. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean only females can be oppressed. Now, this might be a bit far-fetched, but with all these feminazis going around, it's starting to get to the point where maybe males are starting to be a bit oppressed. For example, before you label me as, that's ridiculous, we still live in a male-dominated world. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. But that doesn't make what she said right. And if the roles were reversed, if I was saying the same kind of thing to women, it wouldn't be alright for me to say that kind of thing either. Because it's not. Any sort of sexism towards males or females is wrong. Just like homophobia, racism, etc., etc., etc. It's wrong. It will always be wrong in my eyes. Completely unacceptable. But an interesting story concerning all that. There was a woman, I forget her name unfortunately. I've read on the story a while ago. While I was on the Android of all things. but I did look up, and it did turn out to be true. I think. I don't know. It was a while ago. There was this woman who, considering the amount of, feminazism males are now on the bad end of, there was this woman who ended up disguising herself as a male for an extended period of time to try and view the world from our perspective instead of a female's. And she ended up getting a lot of shit from a lot of feminazis, just hating on her for no reason, not realising, of course, she was a female. And in the end, this was an experiment that lasted over a month or two, maybe more, like between 1 to 3 months. Again, I may be wrong. It was a while ago since I've read it. But she actually got sent into depression. I'm not even kidding. Because of how bad it was. The amount of hatred received purely because her as a male. And that's the issue. What you're doing is not feminism, it's just, you're just a man-hater. And that in itself is sexism. There are, like when you're saying all men are rapists, they're all sexist. That in itself is sexism. So, with all that in mind, Anita, if you ever watch this, which of course you won't, considering I have no impact on anything. I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough. I mean, I'm basically a nobody. I'm a nobody. But I'm not. I will also admit that despite what you have said, Anita, is wrong, is unacceptable, is too general. You're just pretty much scapegoating. You're just kicking a dying... It's kicking us when we're down, kind of thing. And keeps getting a free pass. You keep getting a free pass for it. That's what people are really annoyed about. Saying all these things, and you're getting a free pass for it. That is wrong. But... receiving death threats as well, that is wrong as well. Despite me not agreeing with, well, anything she has said, or well, the majority of what she has said, because her views are what seem to be extremist. Despite those, and I do not agree with them, neither do I approve of the amount of death threats she has been receiving. And I'm not going to resort to that because what makes me better if I do? I mean, she's putting out how she sees, and considering it's extremism, her opinion can be seen as wrong because it's extremist. But so are a lot of the people that have fought back, because of how volatile some of the things they said have been. I do not agree with them, regardless of the fact that neither do I agree with what she has said. So, Anita, just look at it from a broader perspective. Just look from... Instead of just concentrating on the damsel in distress kind of bollocks, instead of pulling out the damsel card. Just, I mean, I'm not even sure how to say this. It's one of those things where you finally get to the point where you think you know how to say it in your head, and then it gets to the point, and then your brain goes, I can give you the word tangerine, that is it. Your brain turns to mush right at the crucial moment. But yeah, just look at it from a wider perspective instead of your one-sided view, because it is one-sided. Look at the argument from both perspectives and actually listen to each and every point people are trying to make. People who aren't screaming obscenities in your face all the time, because that's not an argument. That's being an animal, basically. And people who answer her views with nothing but death threats. What makes you better than her? Because someone who is sharing her views, her extremist views, but her views all the same, her opinions, you are telling her to die. You are attempting to condemn a person's life. And then think about this. If you told someone to kill themselves, and they did, you tell someone to die. You tell someone to take their own life, and then they did, because you told them to. Regardless of the kind of person they were, would you be able to live with yourself, knowing that that person's blood is on your hands? Death threats are not okay. Do not tell someone to die, because any decent human being would not be able to live with that knowledge, with the knowledge that somebody's blood is on their hands. Keep that in mind. So don't answer with death threats, answer with constructive criticism. Receive her points, tell her where she may have been right and where she may have been wrong. But don't become so volatile. That's what's fueling the fire right now, on top of her extremist views. Fight back with a well-constructed argument. Perhaps then we'll actually start to get somewhere. People will start listening and stop viewing the gaming community as mindless beasts. Because that is not what the majority of the gaming community are. I will admit, I have come across a lot of little assholes. I mean, for example, one funny story. This is more connected to racism than sexism. But this proves that there are some people out there that are just complete fucking mental, just idiots. I remember it was a couple of years back now, I was playing, it was at least 3.5 years ago, because I was 17 at the time. I was playing Black Ops, Verrucht, Zombies Verrucht online. Me, 3 other guys. 2 of them were American, 1 of them was British. So me and basically 2 British guys, 2 American guys. The American guys were all right. Me and them, we were talking, we were getting along with them fine. The British guy, and this is one reason why I'm not always proud to be British. British guy received those American guys, like they heard they were American, and started talking shit to them for being American. And he was arrogant, he was rude. I didn't like it. I didn't join in on that. Because the other 2 guys, the two guys hailing from the US of A, they were nice guys. They were nice guys. And because I did not treat them with disgust because they were American, I received a few hate messages from that British guy saying that I am a disgrace to my country. I attempted to message back saying, why am I a disgrace to my country? Is it because I didn't, like, what have I done? He then took that, it flew over his head, and sent a message back to me saying, shut up, you're probably a paedophile. It's like, I sent a message back, I'm not even 18, how can I be a paedophile? I mean, I'm right, I am wrong, I was wrong in saying this, but I mean, considering I wasn't 18, it said, like, I'm not even old enough to be a paedophile. I mean, again, that kind of shit is disgusting, for one thing. I just want to just make that clear. I'm not a paedophile, alright? That shit is disgusting. Alright? But he basically threw accusations my way, threatened to report me, etc, etc, etc. I don't even sound old. I don't even sound 18, let's be honest. I don't look 18 either. I'm you know how old I'm fucking 20 right now. I am 20 years old. 20 and a half years old. That is depressing. That shit is depressing. It really is. I'm an adult. I am literally an adult now. Jesus Christ, that is depressing to say. But it seems off topic. I mean, the guy threatened to report me, he blocked me, etc, etc. I laughed because it was funny as hell. But this shows, yes, I will agree, Anita, there are people, there are parts of the gaming community that are disgusting when it comes to racism, sexism, etc., etc., etc. But that is a minority. The majority of gamers are good people, I would like to think. Though a lot of them fight amongst themselves, the console war, PC versus consoles. Just my quick view on this. Yes, PC is technically more powerful, but I personally am a console gamer. I prefer to play on a console. And if I play on a PC, I plug in a wired Xbox controller because I find that's more comfortable. I will not deny PCs are superior because you have Steam and they can run games 10 times better than consoles. But I grew up as a console gamer. I prefer consoles. That's my preference. I'm not saying they're better. I'm not saying they're worse, etc., etc. I'm not saying they're bad. I prefer consoles. That's my view on the console war. I mean, let's be honest, the last bad console was the Virtual Boy. That was decades ago. And that came from Nintendo, Jesus. That was the last bad console. Either that or the Atari Jaguar CD. I'm not sure which one was first. But I mean, those two were the last really bad consoles. So, I mean, what's the issue with that? But, I mean, well, this got really off topic, didn't it? Jesus Christ, it's a long video. But I felt it was time for me to address this, and I think all gamers should address this, but not as volatile as a lot of people have been. Don't send death threats. That is wrong. Don't threaten to rape. Don't threaten to kill, etc., etc. Because that's what makes you better than her if you're doing that. What makes you better? Answer her criticism with constructive criticism of your own. Hold up a valid argument. But do not resort to violence. Do not resort to violent intent, to rape threats, to death threats. That is disgusting. That doesn't make you any better if that's what you're doing. Alright, I apologise for the long video, but I felt it's something I need to get off my chest. It's something I need to actually talk about. And it was quite lengthy, wasn't it? So I do apologise for that. So yeah, give me your views on this. So comment down below your views. Leave a like, leave a favourite, subscribe so that you can become part of the Penguin Army today, and we will defeat the Chair Squad. And I will try and get back into the uploads. Hopefully I'll be feeling better by tomorrow, hopefully. So, thanks for watching. And until next time, fellow penguins, Danish out.